Order, please. Thank you all for coming. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you
Okay,
for being a good chair.
establish a quorum, please. What'd you say?
I said, thank you for being a good chair.
All right, I'll go ahead and establish quorum. Commissioner Trapnell,
Yes.
Chair Cohen, Commissioner Gallagher Thompson,
Here.
Commissioner Basiji,
Here.
and Vice Chair Olson. We do have a quorum of 5 commissioners present.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it's time for the pledge of allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any public comments on the agenda? Jamie?
No public comments have been received at this time.
Thank you. Okay. Business, we have a special presentation by Jamie, so she's going first. Number 1 is actually on page 2, top of page 2.
And I will go ahead and be sharing the, on the screen as well too.
Did the new people get, a copy of the commission handbook, Jamie, already when you oriented them? So are there separate pages that we can actually get to put as appendix to our commission book? We could save paper if you want, I don't know.
Oh, no, definitely. All of this information is, in the current handbook. I don't believe any changes have been,
Is it all, even the way that the pairs and everything, it's all in there?
I believe so, yes. If, and the one that you may have gotten, you might not have the most recent, so I can make sure to, send that to the full commission. But the newer commissioners, which would be, Commissioner Trapnell and Commissioner, correct. Correct, so I can send that out to the full commission. All right, so I'm going to be providing an update, and I thought that this would be, all of the commissions are actually receiving this update. Some received it at their meeting in November, but this was not ready by the time that we met, because we met the first Monday of November. So, which is why Senior Commission is getting this update for our meeting in January, since there was no meeting in December. But I will go ahead and continue. So this is just a basic background on the Senior Commission. It is joint between Los Altos and Los Altos Hills, and they are an advisory body to both councils in regards to matters relating to senior interests and concerns. And coming up, and that'll actually be part of the conversation when we talk about the work plan, they'll submit. They're calling it an annual report, but it is basically a report on how the last work plan went, what your new work plan will be, and your joint meeting will be actually in February, and I'll go over that in one of the upcoming items in this meeting. So breakdown of what is expected of the commission, obviously performing tasks that are requested by City Council. Serves as a public forum for community input and engagement. And quite a bit of that was done when we did the age-friendly action plan. Submit an annual report, so they want to see through the work plan what has been accomplished or what is planned for the upcoming year. And then there may be other tasks and duties that council may assign depending on what projects might potentially come up. We've already done this because we did this actually in October. But in October, we appoint a chair and a vice chair annually each year, and they serve through from October through September. That is the term. And this was slightly new from last year, but the expectation is that there is a rotation. So an individual cannot serve as chair 2 years in a row, so that must adjust each year.
So 1 year term.
Correct.
But not consecutive.
Correct, and that is specifically for the chair position. So specifically for attendance and participation, expectation is that a majority of the members are present for the in-person meeting. So for us, we have 7 members for the commission. For us to reach quorum, we do need to have at least 4, which is what one more than half of the commission. So in order for us to hold a meeting, we have to have 4, which today we have 5. Commissioners are expected to attend 75% of regularly scheduled meetings. Now, the commission has 10 regular meetings scheduled normally within a calendar year. There's no meeting in July, no meeting in December, so that's 10 total in the calendar year. With the way that our schedule falls, we do have, I believe, 2 kind of special meetings sometimes, which actually this year I think there's only 1. The one that usually occurs is September because of the Labor Day holiday. It's adjusted to the following Monday. That's actually considered a special meeting. So anything that's not on the regular schedule, which is the first Monday of the month at 3:30. So it's those regular meetings that you have to be in attendance of 75% or more, which would obviously be great.
And there are 10 regular meetings,
Correct.
so that's 7.5 meetings.
Yes.
Everybody can get up in the middle
So that's, hope is that you're here for a majority of that. You can attend virtually, but there are some specific requirements that must be followed if you're going to attend virtually. That is a possibility, but we usually like to know in advance, at least a week in advance, so that we can work with the city clerk, because there are special circumstances that would allow you to attend remotely, and then specific requirements like posting the agenda. We have to list where you're going to be and going to be taking the meeting virtually. So if you are planning or know in advance and would like to attend virtually, let us know as soon as possible, and then we could work through those requirements. And no more than 20% of the meetings can be attended remotely. So the hope is that a majority is attended in person. All right, so reporting, work plan, which is on the agenda later on in this meeting. Essentially, the council wants to look at the work plan within the first quarter of the calendar year. So that is planned for the meeting in February. And they want to know what has been planned. What are you planning to work on for the term? And again, the term for the work plan is October through September. In addition to that, that is always, the joint meeting is a good time to talk about what had been accomplished in the past year as well. This is slightly new for this upcoming work plan. They've added a few columns, which I mentioned when I introduced the work plan in November, which was our last meeting. Goal still remains the same. That's the overarching goal that can represent any number of projects. And what the senior commission has decided is to base the goals upon the domains from the World Health Organization for the Age-Friendly Action Plan. The name of the project, so what specifically the commission is working on, anticipated completion, so that the commission has an estimated timeline of maybe how long the project may take to complete. Priority source, where did the project come? Was it assigned from City Council? Was it a part of the Age-Friendly Action Plan? Was it a suggestion from a community member or community feed input that was received? Status, is it in progress? Has it been completed? Assignment, so this could be an example of whether an ad hoc subcommittee was assigned or a working pair was assigned. And then notes at the very end if there's anything else that would be helpful to decipher what the project or goal or any of those other pieces would be. And then this is slightly new as well, a calendar. So the intent behind here is to help the commission plan accordingly. And the reason why I say that is because you don't want all of your projects to happen in the same month. That would be too much for any individual or group to take on. So the intent behind this calendar is to help the commission plan so that different projects can be spread out over the course of the calendar year and term year. And again, it is highlighted, there are no meetings in July and December. And so this could be when the commission needs to discuss something or needs to decide something. So here we get into the fun stuff, ad hoc subcommittees and our working pairs. So a commission can appoint an ad hoc subcommittee. It has to be less than a majority. So majority for us is 4. An ad hoc subcommittee has to be 3 or less. And it should be focused on a specific topic and should not last more than 1 year. And it should not be a standing committee. So the best example I can give is something as generic as marketing. You shouldn't have that, it should be more specific to, it could be electronic communication or electronic marketing, and then even more specific, what is it about it? Is it the newsletter that goes out, or is it an email blast that goes out, or is it a distribution that you're trying to build? Again, the idea is that the task should be more specific and not so broad that it could be seen as a standing category. It doesn't, ad hoc committees have to comply with the Brown Act, but it doesn't require, obviously our commission meetings are posted. The agenda is posted at the front of the meeting, it's posted on the website so that the public knows. Ad hoc committees, and one of the benefits of that is that you can meet outside of those so that you can start working without needing to post information in that way, which the full commission usually does. And as I mentioned, specific topics, specific timeframes, so it can't just be general, there should be an end date or a completion date to what you're looking to achieve. What they mean by continuing jurisdiction, again, something as general as marketing. It should be, again, more specific, and it should not be established in multiple years. So it is talking specifically, what is the specific project or topic? And then again, in that annual report that you provide to City Council, you're going to share twofold. Obviously, bring the final information back to the commission, and then that will be something that you will report out to your the City Council when you meet jointly as well.
Multiple years on the calendar for work plan or major project, the action plan is over multiple years. So it's a 4 or 5 year project, and if we lay out the tasks and go forward, I mean, we can do it, we'll do it year by year, but I'm just saying people can envision a bigger project than a 1 year project.
Potentially, yes, but in that way, you will have some of these smaller projects that will build up into eventually achieving a lot of the tasks or things that were called out in the action plan. But I think at least for the annual work plan, you'll want to be a little bit more specific in maybe what could be accomplished within that year. There will be some projects that will be longer standing, but you can take smaller components. Yeah, correct. Correct.
Because if we
Yes.
go through the 9 domains, I mean, including emergency preparedness.
Yep.
That pretty much, you know.
There is absolutely a lot, and that's where we can be a little bit more granular when we get to the work plan. Oh, absolutely. Oh, and one other thing, For ad hoc, this is where you can only serve at one at a time. So for something that is a larger project, and again, the idea is so that you can focus on that particular work or project. You can only serve it on one. And also it has to do with the Brown Act so that there isn't mixing, because again, sometimes conversations can mix on other topics that might be what the commission talks about as a whole. So again, for the ad hoc, it should be specific, and that's why they specifically call out that you can only serve on one at a time. Specifically, it has to be members of the commission only that can be appointed to an ad hoc subcommittee, less than a quorum of the commission, so 3, and defined purpose and time frame, and less than 1 year. And it will automatically terminate. So as soon as you complete your task and provide a final report out to the commission, there is no need for a formal action. As soon as that project is completed, that ad hoc subcommittee has completed their task, and the commission doesn't need to do a formal action to dissolve it. And obviously, as mentioned before, shouldn't be reestablished or renewed for continuing on the same topic, unless it's maybe slightly larger, slightly nuanced, as we kind of talked about with Chair Cohen, maybe different components that are going to go forward in different years. So an example of one that was formed, there was our age-friendly task force, and Commissioner Buchholz, Commissioner Cohen, and former Commissioner O'Reilly. They were the ad hoc subcommittee that was a part of the age-friendly task force. Now we get to the fun part that was slightly updated, and I think there was some excitement here. We are able to do what's called working pairs. So unlike ad hoc subcommittees, which does require a formal approval by the commission, and you will notice that the specific wording in some of the agenda topics, if there is a potential to form an ad hoc subcommittee, that is going to be listed. You don't have to, but we have to let the public know that we might potentially form an ad hoc subcommittee. The intent behind the working pairs is that in order to accomplish these larger goals, there's smaller things as an example, and I'll use the health fair as an example, something like maybe creating a flyer or contacting vendors, or maybe looking for businesses that might be willing to do donations, or to think about maybe workshop topics that might be presented. These are all smaller tasks under the bigger planning of the event, which is the Senior Commission Health Fair. Working pairs, so it could be 2 or single, so it's 2 or 1. And you can do as many working pairs as you need to then work on those smaller tasks that build into that larger project or task. And so again, it can be 1 or 2 commissioners. You can, similar to ad hoc, you can still meet outside. You don't have to, it doesn't require an agenda or posting or anything like that. And then you can, at the next commission meeting, provide an update or report. These vendors were contacted, we created these flyers or marketing pieces. That is an example. The commission can take action if needed, or they can simply receive the update or report. So, yes.
Is there the same restriction and limitations on the number of working pairs that you could be joining as a commissioner?
You can join as many working pairs as need. Yep. So, slightly different. Ad hoc, only 1. Working pairs, you may do as many as you need to.
And what's the relationship between working pairs and ad hoc?
Yep, getting there. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the working group or working pairs are designed to allow commissioners to work in a flexible manner respond to requests or projects, or directions, and to help move projects on the work plan forward. No limit to the amount of working pairs a commissioner can participate in at one time. So here's the difference. Ad hoc subcommittee, it's more formal, bigger project, focused on a project, work plan development, and the example I provided, the senior commission health fair. There's gonna need to be one larger ad hoc that kind of oversees that planning of the event. Working pairs, informal, it's a component of the larger project. So an example would be completing a flyer for the event or contacting vendors, some of those other examples I gave. So formal versus informal. And again, a working pair is a component of the larger project and or event. There potentially could be. But that's where all come in. So if there is ever a question, I can help distinguish between what should be between the two. Yes.
Because my question really had to do with, if you're in the ad hoc and you need more help than those three people, the working pair can be
Outside.
in or out of the, the one person from the ad hoc be working pair with one person from outside of the. Yes. Okay, that's where the flexibility is gonna be really helpful.
Yes. Yes. Yep. All right, so liaisons, this is just an example. So there may be other outside boards or groups that maybe have similar interests that this commission may want information or to collaborate with. If you want to assign a particular commissioner to maybe attend outside meetings or to work with a specific group or to get information, you can absolutely assign an individual commissioner to attend or bring back information. So basically to be a liaison to that particular group. As a side, the liaison to that specific group should bring back information to the full commission at the regular commission meetings. And if something is discussed by the senior commission, and then that liaison should then take the same position that the commission has to share that with the group that they are liaisoning with. And so the example that I'm going to provide, and I know Chair Cohen, you just attended the meeting earlier today, but we did officially appoint Chair Cohen as our liaison to SourceWise. So that is an example of that SourceWise being an outside group that the senior commission has assigned someone to attend. SourceWise is, the name of that group has changed slightly, but it is within Santa Clara County, and many different agencies and cities have members that come together, and they have actually different, I would call them subcommittees that have different topics that they look at.
Right, it's countywide, and it has different cities represented there, and also different legislative areas are represented.
Yes.
And also different communities of interest, either based on ethnicity or other things that are specifically needed to be worked on. And it's not only working with the elderly, but it's working with people with disabilities. Those two major areas.
And if you're interested, I can share just basic information. Obviously, our commission liaison is Chair Cohen, but I can share the link and some basic information about that particular group with the rest of the commission as well, so that you have some background in that. Our council liaison, so ours has not yet been assigned yet, because Councilmember Li Ying did end her term in December of 2024. So we will find out soon who our new council liaison will be, at least from the city of Los Altos. I believe town of Los Altos Hills Councilmember Tyson, I believe, is still assigned. That may change in the upcoming calendar year, but I will keep the commission informed.
It used to be.
Yeah, Councilmember Lee Ing, but her term ended in December. So I don't believe that with the seating of the new commissioner or a council member, which is Councilmember Larry Lang, he was seated in December, and so I believe council still has to determine the assignments of the commissions. So I will keep the commission
I
updated.
know
once
him,
that's
and he said to me, I'm really interested in the seniors.
Ah, okay.
Larry,
Yep, so we will see which council member is assigned. I will keep you updated. And then for council liaisons, the intent is that they shouldn't direct, guide, or influence other advisory bodies, but again, the commission, if there are questions, that's where council liaisons could potentially be helpful. Obviously, that is my role as well too, to provide information as well. Conflicts of interest. So this is just a basic overview, and we'll talk about perceived or incompatible activities. So perceived conflict of interest is an interest for a commissioner that may arise from personal relationships, financial interests, serving on bodies or boards that have shared or overlapping subject matter jurisdiction as those under the jurisdiction of the commission. So if there is ever any question, that is where my role comes in. So if you are ever unsure, you can always reach out to me directly, and then I can work with our city clerk. And if necessary, we can obviously pose a question or get clarification from our city attorney as well. But if there is ever a question, as I mentioned, notify me as the staff liaison. You can indicate what you think might be a conflict of interest, and then we can work with city staff or the city attorney to help work through that. This is, and again, this information is at least the PowerPoint that is on the website. And if you do want an individual copy, it was included in the packet, but if you do need, so that if you want to review this later, you can as well. Ultimately, it is the responsibility of the commission member to identify or come forward, let us know if there might be something that needs to be looked into further. And as I mentioned, you could work through myself if that question needs to be posed to the city attorney. This is just basic information. Our commission doesn't really deal with this particular topic very much, but since this is an update for all commissions, there are some commissions that this is very relevant or happens to come up with many of the topics or projects that they discuss. It's CEQA, which is the California Environmental Quality Act. There are a variety of different things under that. This is just basic information. If you want more detailed information, or if you're curious for more information, there are some additional slides, which for some of the commissions that this is not directly related to, those slides were pulled out. But if you're curious and want more information, I'm happy to send you those slides. But if there are specific questions on this, the best person to reach out to is the Deputy Director for Development Services. That is everything. And again, part of the reason why I wanted this to come first is because leading into the conversation on the work plan, I thought the clarification between the ad hoc subcommittee and the working pairs would be helpful as we start to look at what those projects will be that you would like to work on for this upcoming term year, and then potentially looking at who might be assigned as an ad hoc subcommittee or potentially a working pair
as well.
But that is everything, so I will go ahead and stop sharing.
You gonna print that for us, or what did
I
you say?
can, if you would like a printed copy.
This new one that, I don't think we got the new, very new one.
Oh, you're referencing the handbook.
New one or not? I don't think the front cover has a date.
No, I don't think they reference it in the physical file. The digital file name, I believe, does have the, correct. But I will send it out to the full commission.
It's not covered in the Commissioner's handbook.
It should be. Yes. Okay.
When you say you're gonna send it out, do you think that you could print documents? We were talking about it because people didn't print this and they don't have it. So do you think?
Yes, so,
Print this for everyone because they didn't prepare for it because.
I think we got a printed copy, right?
But you got the, this is the one that's approved by the council. Did they get this one?
yeah, so let's take one thing at a time. So, in regards to the commissioner handbook, I guess the best note is that, or at least direction, we are trying to be environmentally friendly, which is why we email information out and send the links. If there is a request where you would like something printed, contact me or Candace. Candace is not here today. She is still out of the office. She'll return tomorrow. If there is a request for printed material, you would just need to reach out to us and we can provide that to you, but we would not automatically print something unless it's requested. So once we get to the next part, then we can talk about the other piece.
Okay, thank you very much for your report. Any question?
I just wondered, then would you mail it to us?
We can, yes. So we can absolutely mail, or if you happen to be here at the center, we can have it available at the front desk, whatever would be easiest, but you can work out those details directly with us.
So send you a hard copy of the updated, age-friendly.
Correct.
action plan, and then you will mail it to us.
Yes, if there is a request, the printing is really quickly, or happens really quickly. So if you want a printed copy, I can do that directly after this meeting, since you are already physically here. Yeah. So does everyone, I know, Chair Cohen, you have yours already. Does everyone else prefer a printed copy?
Yeah, sure. We met with you and got a printed copy. But you're saying it's not the latest.
That is correct. That was in draft form at that point. Yes, so I will go ahead and do a printed copy for each of the commissioners after the meeting today. You're okay? Okay. Sure. So I will do the form.
One other issue about that. We really appreciate you printing for us, but when we get our information the Thursday before the meeting, there's no time unless they come Friday morning to get it in order to prepare anyway for the meeting. So it's also a timing issue. You know what I mean? So if you know, I'm just wondering, if you know this is gonna be a large document, do you think that we could get at least that component earlier so that we can read it thoroughly and be prepared for the meeting? I know that's a big ask, but.
I will just say that it will depend. So the best way that I can describe it is the commission work is a component of what staff currently works on. And per the Brown Act, we're only required to post it 3 days in advance, 72 hours in advance. And so Thursday is actually ahead of that 72 hours. We would theoretically only have to post Friday. Now, in regards to getting information to the commission, for the example of the age-friendly action plan, that was prepared slightly different. Obviously, we had a consultant put that together. But sometimes the reports are not specifically ready until that Thursday when it is posted. So it's not gonna be, I would say, always that we're gonna be able to do ahead of that time. If it is feasible, we can possibly do that. But the deadlines that staff is required to follow is at least 72, a minimum of 72 hours.
So when I opened the documents that you sent out, it was 121 pages, and to get it late Thursday, I didn't think it was realistic. So I wondered, can you call it something else? I'm not saying, I'm not trying to create conflicts of interest here. But anyway, I'm just saying, could it be an appendix? Can it be something else? Or I would like to speak to the commission if I can, and just say that I think it would be so nice if they could get it earlier, because we want people to be prepared for the meeting. And I don't see how they could have been, really, because I'm not gonna read, I know I got it Thursday when we met, but that's, an hour or two before they got it. But I can't read that many pages on the computer, so I knew I needed a written copy. And you were so nice to be able to, do that for me. So could you think of that, like maybe a way that we could, just, it's not common that we would get such a big document.
No, this is an outlier, again, because it includes the final action plan, and it included, 25 of the 120 pages was also the PowerPoint presentation that I did as well. So generally speaking, the packet would not be this large. The only other thing I will say is that, what staff has to follow is that it should be consistent for all the commissions. And I don't know if I would be able to, again, change what is at least the deadlines, which is what all the commissions usually follow. So that's a question that I can pose, but I don't see policy-wise that changing unless they maybe change that for all the commissions, because that's what is required for all of the commissions, that it's posted at least 72 hours in advance. But again, I can ask what is possible.
County and across the board.
Correct.
I'm on Park Commission, 72 hours.
Correct.
Color printers, for example, and this is a document that's
So nice in
it's
color. yeah.
lovely in color, it's easier to read in color,
It's a matter of getting it all through in a
Yeah.
timely manner. And I just wondered, when the council voted for it, it was in their consent calendar. So unless someone pulled it, it went through automatically, and there weren't any changes made after the final draft was created for them.
Correct. So was that the case?
So we're getting slightly off topic.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, because it was ready like maybe 2 weeks
Before that next council meeting happened, I don't know. It's just that we worked on this too. We did-
Correct. So we're muddling some of the topics. So if we can make sure, again, what's at least the request that is coming forward, I can follow up and see what is possible. But again, what is, and even to city council has made some amendments for themselves. Again, the agenda topics on its own are usually printed or in the town crier, I believe. And I might get some of the timing, but even city council doesn't get so far in advance. Obviously, some of their agenda topics are much larger, and usually the information that is included includes more information. So they usually post and get information slightly earlier, but all the commissions are required 72 hours in advance. So I will follow up and see what is feasible
So for
or
tonight,
possible.
you want to, Chris, those 3 people want it.
Yes.
So I have a question, just wondering if there is a print version available. An example would be talking about the ad hoc versus,
Working pairs.
To print that out, you're using green. That's the backdrop. Is there just a printable where you just have, do you know my?
Correct, and
Why
this
put the
is-
Slides on.
No, absolutely. Just so you know, that is the old PowerPoint template. The new PowerPoint template does not have the green anymore. With that information, in regards to the color, the newer template, which I received it on the old, we got the new template for the PowerPoints after. So future templates for PowerPoint presentations will not have the green,
I'm
but
just thinking,
yeah.
being able to print it at home, because seeing it on the screen, I understand it, but I'm one, I like to put notes by it. And I need that tactile. And so if there's a printable that I can then make it smaller, make each, do 4 pages on one or something. I don't know if that's in the scope or if that's asking.
No.
So again, if there, so I think to everyone's questions that are coming forward, standard procedure is to email the link, sometimes because of the amount of information that's in the packet. If there is a need, reach out to myself and Candace, and we can work individually with the commissioners on what might work best for them to process the information in the packet. So best case scenario would be just to reach out to myself or Candace going forward. Sure.
Okay, the next item is, are the minutes. Did anybody have a chance to look at them? Yeah. Do I have a motion? Second.
Wait, I don't think she can second. That's a here.
Yeah.
You should be saying the minutes.
I know,
we talked
this
meeting.
talked before.
Yeah.
So clarification on minutes, so long as, someone, from that was either present or again, reviewing, you don't have to physically be at the meeting in order to approve the minutes. As long as those that were in attendance, can, verify that the minutes accurately reflect that, you can still vote, which is okay.
Okay, so do we have a first and a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. The next item is the health fair.
So I looked at the variety of dates based upon the 3 dates and times that the commission selected. The 2 dates, as I mentioned, the main date that was selected, which was the first choice, which is September 9th, and it is planned from 12 to 3. I have reserved both the Grand Oak Room, which is the larger space here at the community center, in addition to this space, which is the Sequoia Room, and the room across the way, which is Manzanita. Just in case, I do also have a reservation and hold for the October timeframe as well. So, but the main date that has been selected is September 9th. So, recreation, we always like to have a contingency plan, so we do have that as a backup just in case. That is October, 6th, it is October 7th, and all of them are Tuesday dates.
Well, are there any comments? I have a comment, but I'd like to hear from other people about that date. Does that seem feasible to you, that date? Yeah.
We're not the ones to decide, I think. We have to make sure the vendors are available for those days.
Yeah, the thing I was thinking of, that it's so close to Labor Day.
Right. The week after
And-
Labor Day.
Does anyone, is everyone okay with that September 9th date?
Well, the bigger question is, do we have vendors all lined up for those dates?
Do we what?
So this is the first step is to figure out the date and time, which we do have the two options. Again, the selection of the dates was decided in November. And those were the three dates that the commission selected for staff to look at. The first choice was the 9th or the 16th. The 9th is the one that was still available at the time that it was booked. And then I did book the October 7th as a backup. So those are the two dates that we could go forward with. The suggestion from staff is to select either some working pairs or an ad hoc subcommittee so that the planning, as Commissioner Basigi brought up, potentially coming up with or contacting vendors, and then looking, some of the conversations that the commission had previously was maybe doing some workshops or presentations on a variety of different health topics, and then maybe to have other components besides just having the vendors available. As information and what I shared in November, we did have an event down at Grant on October 16th. All of those vendors we have contacts for, so we can start with that list of vendors. And so we can, staff can pass that on to whichever working pair or ad hoc committee, and then that contact can then start with some of those vendors. But the first step would be to either select a working pair or an individual that would be willing to do some of that work.
What's the time frame that you're thinking for the September 9th or?
So the actual event is 12 to 3. Yeah. So the actual event would be 12 to 3, and then obviously there would be setup. And so we would have the room as soon as 10 o'clock, which is after jazzercise in the morning. So we would have about 2 hours before and about 2 hours after. We can potentially have some refreshments. Sure. Yes.
Let's hold off on the details until we get the first of all, I'd like to go back to the date. We haven't decided definitely on the date. Is it unanimous that people want it on September 9th? I mean, I'm okay with it.
I just wanted to
Bring up the idea that it's so close to Labor Day.
From the November meeting, the top priority was the 9th or the 16th. And then October 7th was the third priority. So the commission can change that is, but this was based upon the conversation from November. So all of those components that are being brought up, whether there's food vendors, all of those different things, that's what the ad hoc subcommittee can work on or decide what components, and then working pairs can be assigned for, smaller tasks within that.
Who would like to be on the subcommittee? Jen? And
Dolores. Okay, and I think, Bill wanted to be on.
Yes, Commissioner Buckholz did indicate that in November.
And that's Sandra, and then we'll find out.
Problem. But
Yes, we can, I think, he did indicate interest of being on the ad hoc subcommittee in November. So I think we are safe to assign, those,
So Jen, Dolores, and Bill.
Yeah, the other question I have, maybe it can come up later, if you can make sure, there's a staff member also assigned to us to work.
there absolutely would be. Mhm.
With the previous event.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So just to go back to the date one more time, the reason that I can think of for October, that might work better is because we'll be having to do a lot in the summer months, in July and August, to finalize things, it seems to me. And that's a more difficult time because of erratic scheduling, vacations.
And we don't have a meeting in July, so we don't have August, which makes it even tighter.
A July meeting, right, so I don't know, maybe you said last year was October and it was successful. Maybe it ought to be an annual event in
Sure,
October,
why not?
you
I'm
know?
gonna toss in because on my work plan, I will be talking about a social event, which I've been
Good point.
working with, Club 55. And the
Absolutely.
idea is a Halloween
Oh.
theme and have that in October. So if we
Lovely.
do the October one, then we'd have two senior events in October, which would be nice to get the senior
Do you have a
commission.
date picked out for your
Yeah.
October? Do you have a date picked out?
I do.
What is it?
The 17th, hopefully. So it's close. Right, so that's where I wanted to put that in before
Good
you
to
go
bring
down.
up.
Point.
It's good to bring that up.
So there is flexibility.
Yeah.
So with the health fair, for the ad hoc committee's, consideration, both dates are booked for the community center. So as you're planning, if, you're finding that more vendors are available, we can absolutely adjust. You have that flexibility, but the first choice, at least according to November's meeting, was the, September 9th or 16th, but the 9th was the one that was still available. Correct. Correct. So there is flexibility with that. Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so the room we know and subcommittee, yeah, we know now, and it mentioned that fiscal impact none, but there are gonna be costs, so why would we say none?
At the moment, they're not known at this, well, they're not known, and so again, as the ad hoc subcommittee, correct. Correct.
Of course, there'll be staff there, you know, everyone came, it was an amazing event, I loved it at Grand Park, it was wonderful, everyone liked it, I think.
And for the ad hoc committee, it does have to be a formal action, so we would need, a motion to create that ad hoc committee with those particular commissioners assigned. So we can do the, we can assign, which is okay, because he did indicate interest. But we would need a motion and approval by the commission, correct?
Meeting to address the health fair.
With,
With all members, I'm sorry, Jim, Dolores, and Bill.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, oh boy. The work, we should do this first, not when we're exhausted.
so you have a copy of the work plan, and I will bring this up so it is on the screen as well.
It was one of the, it's on the,
So this is just the draft. So right now we have, I have all of the goals based upon, the domains of the age-friendly action plan. So the top, you'll see outdoor spaces and buildings, transportation, housing, social participation, respect and social inclusion, civic participation and employment, communication and information, community support and healthcare services, and the one that was added, which was emergency preparedness. So as you can see within this particular term, which started in October, and the term is listed on top, October 2024 through September 2025. The first one under transportation, so we did hear feedback about the Roadrunners project, and initially the commission wanted to write a letter after I checked in with additional city staff, because the senior commission is only an advisory body, an official letter should only come from city council. So I believe individual commissioners did write, letters to, in regards to the, end of the Roadrunner program. So we switched a little bit, slightly on that topic. And then, social participation, I did list this one as completed because that was something that, former Commissioner Nagao and, Commissioner Olson had worked on. And that was just in regards to collaborating with staff on some of the, participation in programs and activities. We're gonna, switch slightly. And then we do have the larger project, which is to host a health fair. And that was something that commission indicated interest in. So I will update that according to the ad hoc committee that was just formed. And we'll add some notes onto that. But the work plan is open for the commission to discuss what other projects you would like to work on. And the only reminder that I will put is that the hope is that we accomplish it within this term year. So something that, or at least the component that's listed is something that we can achieve by September of this year. So within the next 9 months. So that is the only piece. And then I will turn it back over to the commission so that you can discuss. You do not have to have projects under all of the goals. That would be, I think, a little bit too much. So I think, according to what the commission would like to focus on, maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4, depending on the size of the task. But that would be just a suggestion, from staff. So I will turn it over to the commission.
Do you wanna
Go for
talk
it.
about conceptually how you envision it?
Yes, go ahead. So in the past, the senior commission has put on a spring fling.
Hmm,
Oh, yeah.
yes,
And
we do.
so my idea,
I don't remember that ever. I know you have them, but I've never done it.
That predates you, Elizabeth.
Huh?
That predates
so
you.
I wanted to resurrect
Okay.
that. And I wanted
Yeah.
to, with the thoughts that this would be under domain 4 of social participation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And talking with Jamie and already regarding potential dates in April. And I also wanted to combine it with Club 55
Mhm.
and,
Good idea.
whatever, adult 50 plus, thank you.
Yeah.
And be able to really cohere all of these groups together and be able to get a 50 plus and be able to make it really marketed, get all decades involved and start it back again. So since April was not available, May through October, the third Friday is Club 55, and we already have the rooms reserved, so that's all set. So tagging on with them, the thought would be to have a bigger event on October and have it be Halloween themed. And so to work with all those groups, make it a bigger event, have a band, have it more inclusive, have tickets available. We'll figure out the details. But then we're really promoting something for the seniors. We're getting it out there and offering things for younger generations that are still seniors, I guess. The senior deniers. And then we'll fast forward to start the spring fling in 2026. So that way you have the contacts, the emails, you've got the flow going. It's the third Friday. It'll start the month before Club 55. So it'd be in April 17th. And that way, again, we have something that we are offering seniors in our location, and the senior commission is listening to the listening to our residents and offering we're at a reasonable price and fun and community.
And what was the date again, April?
So
No, it's
I'm
October.
proposing to head that up, whether it's an ad hoc or just do it.
Question.
Go back a little bit and start over. Like, where is this all coming from? How did this all happen? And
How it all happened is I wanted to do a spring fling again, thinking that this is a way to get community together. This is a way to get those residents, active, that's maybe in another way. I've helped out with Club 55, and the reason that started, to give you a little history there, it came from the first time that we had, that the senior commission had done the AARP survey out there, and really what the people wanted, the respondents, they really wanted to get together and have a drink and socialize. So Club 55 started back in 2010, and it was downtown, and it was at the costume bank in the back, and then it's expanded. And so since we had the new community center, they're working with the city, and the city has been supporting them. Instead of tagging on to First Friday, they've made it the third Friday. So to make it, so my thought was, oh, there's a spring fling. I did not know that. It stopped because of COVID.
Right, instead of Club 55.
Well,
It didn't happen.
True, but it's going now. And it has been all last year. And so it's where I'm thinking this is just an easy way.
So you surveyed people and you determined that there was an interest in these things?
There are 85 people that have come, to 100 people, at the last one a couple months ago.
55?
Yeah. So that's with the help of the city, but the thought is also to reach out to the more of the
Seniors,
community,
yeah.
the seniors,
Mhm.
the 50 clubs. I had invited my pickleball group, so we had about 10 people from there. So it's a matter of getting the word out, making it fun, making it accessible, making it something that, for everybody. And so it's not just sitting around and talking per se, you have a way to then intermingle, understand the other generations, and it's not a we and them, it's not an us, it becomes an us. So you have a way that the different age groups have a reason to get together, they get to know each other, and then you become acquaintances. Los Altos becomes smaller, and
So I have a question, if I may ask. Do I understand you correctly that this year you would like to have the spring fling to be combined with with October? So
well, it
essentially,
won't happen in spring.
okay, so
So that's where to,
so October is supposed to, from your vantage point, supposed to replace what would have been the spring fling.
it would be like the kickoff,
Yeah.
where you make it a
26
bigger.
and spring of
But you're
23.
recommending that starting from 2026, we'll have a special spring fling.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. It's absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful.
A great idea.
Yeah, I mean, the last spring fling we had was incredibly successful. Band and
Los
food
Altos,
and
we had something.
tickets and the whole bit.
Do people with the spring fling even before, do they buy tickets?
They bought tickets,
They
it's
bought tickets,
$10, and so that,
You provide, or whoever runs it provides, obviously music, if you're gonna have dancing, snacks and drinks, or?
right, so
Bill
that's
was-
all part of the budget, and
Yeah,
I know Club 55, they have some that they would do, that's where this is great
Yeah.
timing for the city council and the budget for the city to be able to show support for, the social
And it's
participation.
open to any age group, right? It's not
You know what I've said to people is, we're not gonna card you if you're too young.
They probably won't come anyway.
But is it designed for 50 plus or just
50 plus.
Okay,
50 plus,
right, for the spring, and what about Club 55 also?
it is.
And is that's Friday night, so how often does that happen? Club 55?
Once a
Third-
month.
Third
Oh, the
Friday.
third
Third,
Okay, and it's been going the third Friday?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You go? How many people, you said over 100 people came the last?
It's not over 16 or 17, and last count was like, what, 100 people? It's absolutely exploded, People are eating it up. It really is.
I
So-
remember
And
that.
it's held at the community center now.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
So, but you want the Club 55, that's gonna start in the spring, this spring?
May.
It's going to be, it starts in May, and the room has been reserved already throughout the year. And then to tag team with them for their last event in October,
The following October.
so that way it's the third Friday in October.
Yeah.
And we add something to make it even bigger
beautiful.
and make it maybe a costume contest even in there, so that way,
Oh, with Halloween? With
right,
Halloween.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
exactly. And so that way we can get the announcements out for the spring and get it on people's calendars. And I will say, real interesting with Club 55, talking with Bart Nelson, who is serving, he's the bartender, usually goes, people just enjoy coming out. They have a reason to come out and they
They do.
really enjoy it and they look forward to it once a month. And so
I have
they-
friends who come to it. I like it.
People come from Mountain View, from Cupertino.
So do you want to form an ad hoc committee now for this? Under the social participation, you're gonna put it? So you want to be on, who else wants to be on it? Jamie does.
Good idea.
Does, you can only be on.
The best costume for the Halloween.
Time, but that, we don't have enough people to cover all that.
I think, yeah.
Who else wants to do it, do you think? That's not good.
Who's that? Oh, Strawberry.
Do you think she will?
Unless she wants to.
We can
do-
start with the formal of the two here, and we can always add, because the work plan will continue to be a topic. Yeah.
That's great. Does you wanna make a motion?
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion of an
Go
ad
for
hoc
it.
committee with Chris and Rumi
A second.
for the social participation.
A working pair that's gonna convert to ad hoc once someone else agrees to it, yeah, because you're gonna be two right now, right?
But that's okay. You can be an ad hoc with two.
Yes, it could start as a two. It just can't be more than three.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Good job.
I hate to
Okay, so
interrupt, but I thought we ended around 4:30 and I have to be somewhere at 5.
Yeah.
So I need to
I do
leave
too,
like
by the
in
way.
5 minutes.
Thanks for mentioning it.
I need to go in 5 minutes, I apologize.
No, that's okay, go ahead.
Well, I won't go right now,
Yeah,
but 5 minutes.
well, we used to, end earlier, but we have long topics now. New stuff, really big new stuff going on, so. Okay, so that's gonna be put into the social participation one. Okay, do you wanna get started on the action plan then? Do we have time?
No, so the only thing I will say is, we have two very big, I say very big, but we have two event-based, goals. We can start there with the work plan. I think that's a good, starting point. The work plan will continue to be on the agenda, and that will be on the agenda in February. I think that's a good starting point going into, for this particular work plan. So if the commission is okay with that, I can make those edits, and then resend out the updated draft based upon, that work.
And this,
Yeah. Correct.
Combined staff.
Who would, take the responsibility to make sure that the subcommittees have their contact information for each other? Because I don't have to, Dolores' contact.
Yes, I will make sure that, the commission has, information, the contact information. So that, actually, those are the only items for consideration. So, if we're okay to move on, the only update, for number 5 is, and I included the final, which I will print out for the remainder of the commission members, but we got the final approval from AARP. So we are fully approved for our action plan. It was approved and forwarded, or approved by City Council November 12th, and it took about a month. We got the final approval from AARP mid-December. So I'm happy to report that the action plan was approved as submitted. So the final was included in your, which I will provide printouts. So I will reach out to you, Commissioner Thompson, just in regards to how to best to get that to you.
That would be great.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have some other items?
We do, but
They're information only.
Right. And then the flyers.
That we received.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you think they need to be items on the, unless we need discussion about them when we see the flyer that we?
So we usually just include it in the packet as information and we just review it during the, so the, yes, the only update which, Commissioner Trapnell, highlighted is the newest activity guide is available. It is out in the center. And it has all the information for classes and events that happen from January through March. So pick up your, copy if you have not gotten it so far.
People on the front, that's the newest?
That's the newest.
We had the old one, but this was supposed to be the updated one.
That is correct.
This updated 10/29, but she said it only went, I don't know, through January or something.
Oh, that might be the specific, the smaller calendar.
She's referring to our calendar.
Yes, so the calendar for adult 50 plus is, I believe there is a newer one, but the activity guide itself is the current one.
Is the newest one out now?
Yeah, so we're speaking the same context here. There's the activity guide, which is current.
But that's been out for weeks. I mean, I got that weeks ago.
Yeah, but just so we're not mixing up things, the activity guide is current, but this is the adult 50 plus senior center.
Right, and does that come out every week now?
No, we're doing sort of a seasonal update.
So what's the date on that one?
Which one, if you look at the top right corner, update October 29th, 2024, and this still reflects our weekly. And then there's also this special programming. This one changes more frequently, but this was updated again October 29th, and that's still current.
And that comes by email to us, I don't remember getting this. And I usually get it all that.
Yeah, so we like to communicate by subscribers, so subscribe to our mailing list, which you are. And then, if you also go to the webpage, these are PDFs, so you can download them. We keep the webpage current. So if you go to the webpage, you'll always be able to download the most current. This is from the Adult Los Altos 50 plus webpage. These are available, and also in both of our sites. You can get these at any time on our sites.
Real quick, I don't want to take up too much time. One activity I am doing, and it's my own, and I don't know whether it fits into anything else. Since I live at a retirement community where there are 150 seniors, I thought I should let them know, but it was very popular. I mean, I handed it out, explained everything that was available for seniors.
We usually have some printed up at the front desk and in the seat.
Well,
But
the
if you
one-
don't come, then you don't get it unless it comes by email, I guess.
Anyway, so I'm going to keep that up to date because things have changed. I'm planning on possibly doing it at the other senior place, the terraces. So, yeah, it's a way of communicating, and people didn't know. I mean, and the one that I ran into, I said, oh my God, it's this taxi program. You can take Uber, you know, whatever, anywhere within bounds or to a health facility in San Francisco and get reimbursed. Up to, you know, when you reach $50. you
Yeah,
put
the
it-
details of the program are online, it's.
Yeah, I know, but who
It's
uses it?
independent, right?
Especially seniors, they're not always.
Some people have quite a bit of trouble working with the website, you know that.
Yeah, so the independent, right, I mean, that's part of the thing about independent living versus Bridgepoint or the terraces where it's assisted living is my understanding.
Yeah, Bridgeport has both, independent, which obviously I am, and assisted.
You have some copies that, you want some hard copies to take back home?
No, I can take care of everything, yeah.
Okay, and can you bring it to the terraces too, because they wouldn't let us give out our surveys there without being endorsed.
Well, I was just gonna talk to them and say, you have resident meetings, would you like a little talk about?
Oh, yeah, at your
And-
place, but I'm talking about the
Yeah.
terrace.
I don't know, I haven't tried the terraces, so I'll just go in there and.
Go for it, see if you can do it, it's great.
Do they have a marketing person or activity manager? Because the activity manager should be on the email list. I'm sure they are, whether or not they're following through, I don't know.
It's funny because I looked at their activity calendar. In fact, I remember one of my first gigs was I was a little activity helper at the terraces. And I'd be shocked if they'd want to leave because everything's there. They have a big activity calendar. Or
There's presentation, there's tax help, there's, you know, the taxi service.
You're absolutely welcome. These,
I mean, a lot of them came after I presented to the History Museum, they had the, Christmas thing, you know? And they had the students singing, it was beautiful.
Holiday?
Yeah, the holiday something or other, and the shopping.
But that was the only,
That's the
staff
only
update.
information. Do you have anything from the Hills that they got?
Yes, and actually the only other two and the flyers are included, but, we are currently hiring for a variety of positions. So help with our teen center, help with our adult 50+ program. We are also looking, I think for pickleball
We are. No, that's
still
true.
looking for pickleball as well too, for our program at Egan. And then always looking for interested individuals that would like to volunteer with a variety of our programs, whether it's our special events, or different program areas. So those two, flyers are included in the packet. And then, Amina, is from the Los Altos Hills is also, online as well. You'll probably hear her that way, but she can provide updates for the Los Altos Hills as well.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I just wanted to quickly say that we have our Technology for Seniors event happening this Saturday. It will be from 9 a.m. to noon, hosted by our youth commissioners. So if anyone is interested in joining, I believe Jamie has a flyer that has a link where you can sign up and you can select which slot you would like to attend, and they can help you with anything from your Apple Watch, smartphones, iPads. So any device that you might need some help with, feel free to bring it in and they'll help you out.
The town of Los Altos Hills, and it's hosted by it sounds like the Youth Commission.
Yes.
Are City of Los Altos people invited to that, because those flyers have never mentioned that, but George said that we can come.
Yeah, Amina,
Mhm.
could someone from Los Altos, attend as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is open.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
If I can run one last little thing on technology, because that's my area. We have a new, thing at the Computer History Museum, an exhibit for artificial intelligence. In fact, I'm going to be giving at Bridgepoint, an AI presentation, because most people don't know what it is, but the exhibit is fabulous. And if you could get it up in the New York Times, so if there's interest, like at Bridgepoint, you know, we can take a group over there.
Okay.
You fit anyone else in there at this point for your lecture?
I guess so. It's a big room, but it does fill up.
And that's an interesting topic for people, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the AI, we're gonna show it actually in use, if you haven't used ChatGPT yet. You're gonna be amazed what it can do.
Oh, wow. And then, I'll turn it over to, Recreation Coordinator, Chris, Knopf, if you have any other updates for adult 50+.
Didn't submit anything, but, I would just emphasize our calendars are posted, and if you'd like copies, I'd be happy to share.
You guys gonna wait for your, copy of the age friendly? Okay. Yeah.
And so that is everything,
We have future agenda items.
Correct.
I like to.
We're plan on it, which is gonna be rolling over forever and a day. But I'd like to add the joint meeting with the city council, because I don't think, we don't have a time yet. Can we has to be first?
Yes, so, for the work plan, in the report that I included, so we are set for the second meeting in February. So for our February meeting, I'm happy to add that agenda so that we can prepare for that joint meeting. Yeah. Yes, no, I will, the time hasn't been finalized. As soon as I get that, I believe they usually do have the seniors first. Yeah, in the past they have.
It's still the 25th, we just don't know the time, it's on a
Correct.
Tuesday evening.
Correct,
It starts at 5, though, it started before the council meeting. right?
correct.
Yeah, that's good, thank you so much.
Okay, so, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See, I have a different problem. They serve dinner at certain times at Bridgepoint.